It's been a while since we talked about SCPs over here on Top 5 Scary. As we know, the SCP Foundation is responsible for locating and containing individuals, entities, locations, and objects that violate natural law. And there are a lot, and I mean a lot. So today on Top 5 Scary videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 scariest SCP monsters that should stay locked up. Before we begin though, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. And with that, let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, SCP-049. SCP-049 is a humanoid entity roughly 1.9 meters in height, which bears the appearance of a medieval plague doctor. And those dudes are utterly terrifying. While SCP-049 appears to be wearing the thick robes and the ceramic mask indicative of the plague doctor, the garments instead seem to have grown out of its body over time and are now indistinguishable from whatever form is beneath them. 049 is capable of speech in a variety of languages, though tends to prefer English or medieval French. While 049 is typically cordial and cooperative with Foundation staff, it can become especially irritated or at times outright aggressive if it feels that it is in the presence of what it calls the pestilence. The exact nature of this pestilence is currently unknown to Foundation researchers. It does seem to be an issue of immense concern to 049 though. 049 will become hostile with individuals it sees as being affected by the pestilence, often having to be restrained should it encounter such. If left unchecked, 049 will generally attempt to kill any such individual. 049 is capable of causing all biological functions of an organism to cease through direct skin contact. How this occurs is currently unknown. Now 049 is contained within a standard secure humanoid containment cell in Research Sector 02 at Site 19. And it must be sedated before any attempts to transport it, and during transport it must be secured within a Class 3 humanoid restriction harness and monitored by no fewer than 2 armed guards. Here is hoping it stays there for as long as possible, because it would be bad news bears if this creature escaped. In at number 4, SCP-3626. SCP-3626 is a message that you might be reading right now. Persons who open 3626 will be transported to a pocket dimension, or otherwise separated from the outside world. All living beings within the line of sight will disappear. The details of this are unclear, as when affected subjects attempt to view objects different from the device currently displaying 3626 on, they will suffer hallucinations. These hallucinations may differ in nature, but they are sometimes connected with traumatic events from the subject's past and often follow Moloch-class love-inducing anomalous vision patterns. Affected subjects are advised to avoid looking away from the screen. The influence is visible in the JPEG files. Do not stop listening to what I am saying. Now, the hallucinogenic properties of SCP-3626 make it difficult for subjects to leave their immediate area because they see things they shouldn't see. However, subjects who have managed to do so have found all the doors or windows barred and were unable to leave the room they were in when they first accessed 3626, trapped alone with their thoughts, paranoid that something is out to get them. There is nothing though, only your thoughts, only you. Now, it is unknown what happens when the hallucinatory effects are allowed to progress beyond the distortion point, due to the fact that no documentation for it is provided in 3626. It is assumed that the affected subject is unable to cancel the effects of the anomaly beyond this point. If 3626 is forwarded to another individual via electronic mail, the effects will cease, kind of like the ring. This is implied by the fact that no edits were made by individuals claiming to have forwarded the message. Now, whatever you do, do not seek out the message and do not look at the JPEG file. It will drive you to madness and transport you to an alternate dimension. Unless you like the sound of that. It's where I am right now. I read the message. Look at me. In at number 3, SCP-2700. SCP-2700 is a device originally constructed by Nikola Tesla with the purpose of producing a directed energy weapon. Investigation of the artifact while in Foundation custody, however, has proven that SCP-2700 possesses a function, distinct form, and is significantly more dangerous than its original designs. 2700 is contained in a vault that is 180 meters from the surface level entrance to a secure bunker. The vault itself is to be insulated against seismic seismic activity and safeguarded by 3 sets of reinforced steel doors. Access to the vault is forbidden, barring semi-hourly inspection, unless there is a risk of imminent containment failure, and contingency procedures are necessary. All personnel entering the vault are to be equipped with backatron and collars, which are to be activated for any breach of protocol. Now, the luminescent anomaly located in the center of SCP-27003 is not plasma as previously indicated, but a discrete energy phenomena, now designated SCP-2700 Omega. Omega behaves inversely with regards to entropy. The energy state within it, its boundaries constantly move from the thermal equilibrium to thermal singularity, from disorganized to organized. In other words, the flow of energy moves from the state of maximum entropy to minimal entropy, which is opposite to the standard for the rest of the universe. Now here's where things get terrifying. I quote, "If SCP-2700 Omega were to escape the interior of SCP-2703, an inexorable chain reaction would occur, converting the rest of the universe to this inverted entropic state. The eventuality of this scenario would be a YK-class entropic annihilation event, resulting in the reduction of the entire universe to an infinitely energetic singularity. Essentially, it would be an inverted Big Bang." Yeah, you can see why this monster should never ever be released. It's terrifying. Coming in at number 2, SCP-055. SCP-055 is a self-keeping secret, or anti-meme. Information about 055's appearance as well as its nature, behavior, and origins is self-classifying. To clarify, I quote, "How Site-19 acquired SCP-055 is unknown. When 055 was obtained and by whom is unknown. 055's physical appearance is unknown. It is indescribable or invisible. Individuals are perfectly capable of entering 055's containment and observing it, taking mental or written notes, making sketches, taking photographs, and even making audio-video recordings. An extensive log of such observations is on file. However, information about 055's physical appearance leaks out of a human mind soon after such an observation. Individuals tasked with describing 055 after hours find their minds wandering and lose interest in the task. Individuals tasked with sketching a copy of a photograph are unable to remember what the photograph looks like, as are researchers overseeing these tests. Security personnel who have observed 055 via closed-circuit television cameras emerge after a full shift, exhausted and effectively amnesiac about the events of the previous hours. Now 055 is kept within a 5x5 by 2.5 meter square room constructed of cement, with a Faraday cage surrounding the cement walls. Security guards are not to be posted outside of 055's room. It is further advised that all personnel maintaining or studying other SCPs in the vicinity try to maintain a distance of at least 50 meters from the geometric center of the room. At least one attempt has been made to destroy 055 or possibly move it from containment at Site-19 to another site, meeting failure for reasons unknown. Essentially, this creature is so vague yet so powerful it should never ever be released. However, if it were to be released or even escape, you would have no idea about it because your memory would be erased. That's pretty terrifying. And finally, coming in at number 1, SCP-610. Initial reports of SCP-610 came direct from the Russian government through undisclosable channels. Their reports consisted primarily of disappearances of farmers in the region and were not considered until the local police, followed by the regional police, and finally a government dispatched agent all failed to report in within a 72-hour period. So what exactly happened? What is SCP-610? 610 appears to be a contagious skin disease, at first with symptoms including rash, itching, and increased skin sensitivity. Within 3 hours, the disease will cause blemishes resembling heavy scar tissue to form in the chest and arm areas, spreading to the legs and to the back within an additional hour, consuming the victim completely within 5 hours. It is also noted that exposure to higher temperatures vastly decreases time for the contagion to spread, and completed infections have been recorded occurring in as little as 5 minutes. Due to the vast area of infection 610 covers, containment for the creature is absolutely impossible. Isolation of the area has proved far more effective though, and permission has been granted by the Russian government to establish a perimeter to keep people out of these areas under the guise of military operations. Now here's where things get spooky. Should any organism show traits consistent with 610, it is to be engaged at range with small arms until immobile, then dispatched using incendiary weapons and munitions from as great a distance as possible. Any living thing coming in physical contact with an organism infected with 610 is considered expendable and is to be immediately terminated and incinerated. Essentially, if this creature escapes, it will screw up the entire world as we know it. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with our list? Were there any scary SCPs that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos, top 5 most terrifying cults in literature. James Vance said, Jonestown was the most horrible act I can think of doing. That is very true. What happened in Jonestown was abhorrent and unspeakable. It was disgusting. Locke the Fox said, the only cult that matters is the cult of Lucy, the Pale Queen. Bow down. Ain't that the truth? All of you, bow down. Get down. Kirk Morrison said, you made me feel old. I remember all of these, Lucy. You're very welcome. I love making people feel old, especially if you are old, which makes it even funnier. DC Carter said, Lucy is the leader of our cult. Bow down, peasants. Straight facts. We need a name. What can our name be? The Dark Brigade. Chris wants the Fart Brigade. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. And until next time, see you later.